Scottie Pippen, the six-time NBA champion who grew 7 inches in college and rose from an NAIA school to NBA greatness, knows what real greatness looks like. Now he names the 6 players he respected the most, and his choices say a lot. Number 1. Dennis Rodman. It's strange to think that 2 key pieces of one of the greatest dynasties in NBA history barely talk to each other. Dennis Rodman once admitted he never really had a true sit-down conversation with Scottie Pippen during their 3 years together in Chicago. No long locker room talks, no deep strategy sessions. Just quick words during games, calling out switches, pointing at screens, yelling assignments. And somehow, that was enough. What made it work wasn't conversation, it was respect. Long before they shared a Bulls jersey, Scottie Pippen had been watching Dennis Rodman from a distance. Not in the NBA, in college. Rodman came out of an NAIA school, just like Scottie. For Pippen, that mattered. Seeing someone from the same small school level fight his way into the league gave him belief. He once thought to himself, if Dennis can make it, maybe I can too. That quiet connection happened years before they were teammates. And even though they never talked about it, that early admiration never disappeared. Fast forward to 1995, the Chicago Bulls make the move to bring Rodman in. The memories of the bad boy Detroit Pistons were still fresh. Scottie had taken hard fouls, been shoved, bullied, and tested in those playoff wars. Rodman had been right in the middle of that chaos. Plenty of people wondered how that would work, but Scottie didn't hesitate. He supported the move because he understood what the Bulls needed. They didn't need another scorer. They didn't need another star chasing headlines. They needed fire. They needed rebounding. They needed someone willing to do the ugly work. That was Dennis Rodman. Scottie already knew what kind of player Rodman was. He had seen him crash the glass like every rebound decided the game. He had watched him guard multiple positions without fear. He knew Rodman's off-court image looked wild, unpredictable, even chaotic. But inside the gym, Rodman was serious. And that's where the respect grew. Scottie later described Rodman as having one of the highest basketball IQs he had ever seen, especially defensively. Dennis understood angles, positioning, rotations, things many players never fully grasp. He didn't need to score to control a game. On the court, their chemistry developed naturally. Scottie trusted Rodman to be exactly where he needed to be. If Scottie forced a tough shot, he knew Dennis was already flying toward the rim. If there was a switch to be made, Rodman could guard anyone without hesitation. During the legendary 1995-96 season, when the Bulls opened with a stunning 37-3 start, Scottie openly credited Dennis for shifting the team's energy. Rodman chased every loose ball like it was life or death. Scottie even joked that playing offense became more fun because you could miss a shot and Dennis would just grab it and hand it right back like a gift. And here's the wild part, despite all of that chemistry, they still barely talked. Rodman has said multiple times that he never had a real conversation with Scottie or Michael Jordan during those championship years. Communication happened through movement, instinct, and shared understanding. Words weren't necessary, but after basketball, something changed, in a good way. Scottie has said in interviews that he still spends time with Dennis and genuinely enjoys being around him. The friendship didn't fade with the final buzzer. In fact, it may have grown stronger. Scottie describes Dennis as someone who checks in, asks about family, shows real care. That says everything. Their bond wasn't built on small talk or constant closeness in Chicago. It was built on trust during long games, brutal practices, and championship pressure. Number 2. Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen has named many strong players in his life, but when he talks about respect, Michael Jordan is always part of that list. Their story is not simple. It's strong on the court and distant off the court. That is what makes it interesting. Pippen has said many times that he and Michael were never great friends. He repeated this in 2025 and also earlier in interviews. He said they did not hang out away from basketball. They did not play golf together. They did not go to dinner together. They did not call each other just to talk. Pippen said clearly, "Michael and I aren't close and have never been." For him, the relationship was mostly business. But that does not mean there was no respect. On the court, Pippen always spoke highly of Michael. He said their relationship between the lines was impeccable. That means when the game started, everything worked. They pushed each other. They trained hard. They wanted to win. They won 6 championships together in the 1990s. They completed 2 separate three-peats. That kind of success cannot happen without trust. Pippen understood that Michael was already a huge star when he arrived in Chicago. Jordan was bigger than the game. He was the face of the NBA. Pippen came from a small town in Arkansas. Michael came from North Carolina. They had different backgrounds and different circles of friends. Pippen explained that once the season ended, they rarely spoke until training camp started again in October. That was normal for them. He said you cannot force friendship. Either it is there or it's not. Then came The Last Dance in 2020. The documentary changed many things. Pippen felt the show focused too much on Jordan. He believed it did not give enough credit to the rest of the team. After that, tension grew. In his memoir, Unguarded, Pippen called Michael selfish and difficult to deal with. He said Jordan was a very difficult person. He even criticized Jordan's retirement before training camp in 1993, saying it hurt the team. Still, even while criticizing him, Pippen never denied Michael's greatness as a player. He always admitted that Jordan was a great teammate when it came to competing. He said from a basketball view, the respect was always high. They knew they could be dominant together. Now, here's where the story becomes a bit more complex. Some former teammates disagree with the idea that they were never close. Randy Brown, who played on the Bulls from 1996 to 98, said he spent hours with both men when there was no basketball. Brown said you cannot win championships with guys you do not like. Stacey King agreed with him. They believe there was more connection than people think. This creates a question. Were they closer than Pippen admits, or was it simply a professional bond that looked like friendship from the outside? Another layer was added when Scottie's ex-wife Larsa dated Michael's son, Marcus. That situation created more headlines. It made the distance between Scottie and Michael even more public. Many fans wondered if that made reconciliation harder. Even with all of this, Pippen has always respected what Michael did on the court. He called their basketball partnership high level. He accepted that Jordan was the leader and the main star. He even had Jordan induct him into the Hall of Fame in 2010. That decision showed that at the time there was still honor between them. Number 3. LeBron James. Scottie Pippen has spoken many times about LeBron James. His words have changed over the years. That is what makes the story interesting. At one time, Pippen gave LeBron very high praise. In 2011, he said LeBron might become greater than Michael Jordan. He said Jordan was the greatest scorer, but LeBron could be the greatest overall player. He explained that LeBron can score at will and also keep teammates involved. He said LeBron was the complete package. He talked about LeBron's size, strength, defense, and passing. He said he had never seen a player dominate a game the way LeBron could. That was strong respect. Pippen also said LeBron was improving every year. He pointed out that LeBron could control the game without always scoring. He believed LeBron was learning how to make big shots. At that time, many people were surprised that Pippen spoke this way. He played with Jordan and won 6 championships, yet he still praised LeBron openly. But later, the tone changed. When asked about the GOAT debate between Jordan and LeBron, Pippen said the question was not even worth talking about. He called it a stupid debate. He said he never clearly named LeBron as the greatest. He said people twisted his words. This confused many fans. Was he backing away from his earlier praise? Then Pippen explained something deeper. He said Jordan's competitiveness was different. He said there is really no comparison when it comes to that level of competitiveness. He said Michael was competitive 24/7. He said Jordan showed all of his hunger in a short 12 to 14 year stretch. He compared that to LeBron's 20-plus year career. Pippen said when you stretch greatness over 20 years, it feels different. He said it is not the same drive, not the same flight, not the same hunger. Even with that comment, Pippen did not deny LeBron's greatness. He admitted LeBron's longevity is impressive. He recognized that playing at a high level for 20-plus seasons is rare. He understood that LeBron passed many scoring records and carried teams for years. That still shows respect. Then another issue came up. Pippen spoke about team success. He said he looks at basketball from a team standpoint. He said, "You want individual accolades or you want championships." He reminded people that he has 6 rings. He said he did not chase his titles. This was seen as a shot at LeBron, who changed teams and won titles with 3 franchises. Still, even in criticism, Pippen never called LeBron untalented. He never said LeBron was not great. His issue was about how success is built. He values team-first play. He believes in winning as a group. He feels his own career was built on team success more than individual praise. Number 4. Karl Malone. Scottie Pippen has named many strong players he respected. One of them is Karl Malone. Their story has competition, trash talk, and real friendship. Many people remember one short sentence, but there is more behind it. Let's start with 1997. The Utah Jazz reached the NBA Finals for the first time. Karl Malone was the league MVP. He was called the Mailman. In Game 1 of the 1997 Finals, the score was tied 82-82. There were 9.2 seconds left. Malone went to the free throw line. He had 23 points and 15 rebounds that night. He was a 77% free throw shooter in his career. In the 1997 playoffs, he was shooting 78%. As Malone stood at the line, Pippen walked by him. Pippen later said he was good friends with Karl. He said his own brother was a postman. Then he said the line that became famous, "The mailman doesn't deliver on Sunday." Malone missed both free throws. Michael Jordan then hit the game-winning shot. The Bulls won 84-82. Chicago later won the series in 6 games. That moment became part of NBA history. Years later, Pippen said, "To this day, I think that's the greatest line in basketball." He said it was off the top of his head. He did not plan it. He also said he did not know it would affect Malone until after he missed. But here is what matters more. Malone did not take it personally. He said he had no excuses. He said the shots felt good, but he just missed. He said it should not have come down to that. He also said Scottie was one of his few real friends in the league. This is important. Even after the trash talk, the respect stayed strong. Now go back to 1992. Both players were on the USA Olympic Dream Team in Barcelona. That team had many stars including Jordan, Pippen, and Malone. Before a game against Croatia, Jordan and Pippen were focused on Toni Kukoc. Kukoc was being praised by Bulls general manager Jerry Krause. Jordan and Pippen wanted to test him. Malone later joked that coaches had to get Jordan and Pippen out of the locker room because they were so focused on guarding Kukoc. They were pulling straws to see who would defend him. Malone compared them to lions chasing prey. That story shows how intense Jordan and Pippen were, and Malone saw it up close. Malone respected that mindset. He understood their focus and drive. They were all competitors. They all wanted to win. Over time, the battles between the Bulls and the Jazz became famous. In 97 and 98, they met in the finals. Malone and John Stockton led Utah. Pippen and Jordan led Chicago. The games were close and physical. There was strong defense and mental games, but after the games, the respect remained. In 2010, both Malone and Pippen were inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. They stood on the same stage. Pippen thanked Michael Jordan in his speech. Malone honored his mother and spoke about his journey with the Utah Jazz. They were no longer rivals, they were legends. Malone finished his career with 36,928 points. He was a 2-time MVP. Pippen won 6 championships. Both were part of the 1992 Olympic team that was also inducted. The famous trash talk moment is what fans remember, but the deeper story is about respect between 2 great competitors. Number 5. John Stockton. Scottie Pippen has named many players he respected, and John Stockton is one of them. This respect grew during the Chicago Bulls' second three-peat, when Utah was the one team that felt like a real danger to Chicago's run. The Bulls and the Jazz met in the NBA Finals in back-to-back years, and Utah lost in 6 games both times. Still, Pippen said it never felt easy, because the pressure in those series was constant, and the Jazz did not get steamrolled. Pippen did not pretend Stockton was just a role player. He called him very pesty, and he said Stockton was one of the greatest players to ever play the game at his position. Pippen added that it was true on both ends of the floor. That one line explains a lot. Stockton annoyed you, stayed in your space, and still made smart plays. Pippen also pointed to Stockton's basketball IQ and his fearlessness on offense and defense, saying those traits helped turn Utah into a winning organization. That respect became clearer when Pippen looked at how Stockton ran the Jazz with Karl Malone. In the 1997 finals, Stockton averaged 15 points per game. More important, he controlled the offense with 8.8 assists per game. His vision and decision-making helped other players score too. Brian Russell and Jeff Hornacek both averaged double figures, while Malone scored 23.8 points per game. The Jazz offense stayed calm, timed, and connected, even late in games. Then came the 1998 finals. Chicago knew what was coming, but it was still hard to stop. Stockton remained the engine, averaging 8.7 assists per game, and Malone raised his scoring to 25 points per game. Pippen said the danger was not just the numbers, it was the way Stockton and Malone fit together. No matter what the Bulls tried, traps, doubles, or off-ball switches, their screen roll game kept producing clean looks. Pippen said it started to feel inevitable. The goal was not to shut them down, but to limit the damage. He called them two guys that are capable of winning games by themselves, and he said they were the greatest screen roll players I've ever seen in the game. And there is one more detail about Stockton's impact that Pippen hinted at, which makes this respect even more clear. Number 6. David Robinson. In the end, David Robinson, their connection goes back to Team USA in the 1990s. Years later, a photo showed Robinson and Pippen playing an old NBA video game together. They picked the 1992 USA Olympic Dream Team. That image reminded fans that these two legends once shared the court for their country. In 1992, Pippen and Robinson helped lead Team USA to a gold medal in Barcelona. That team became known as one of the greatest ever. Both players added that Olympic win to their Hall of Fame careers. Between them, they earned 8 NBA championships and 17 All-Star appearances. The respect between them started there as teammates representing the same goal. But their story did not stop with the Olympics. In 1993, Michael Jordan left basketball to play baseball. The NBA had to adjust. The Chicago Bulls asked Pippen to step up. David Robinson was in his prime with the San Antonio Spurs at that time. He watched closely. Robinson later said Pippen grew into superstardom during those 2 seasons without Jordan. He said Scottie always had the physical tools, but mentally he grew a lot. Robinson even called Pippen the best player in the league during that stretch. That statement mattered because Robinson himself was league MVP in 1995. In the 93-94 season, Pippen averaged 22.0 points, 8.7 rebounds, 5.6 assists, and 2.9 steals per game. He led the Bulls in almost every major category. Chicago won 55 games, only 2 fewer than the previous year with Jordan. Pippen finished 3rd in MVP voting behind Hakeem Olajuwon and Robinson. Robinson said he almost saw an MJ clone in Pippen's focus and intensity. He respected how Scottie handled the pressure. Pippen had to lead every night. He could not have an off night. Robinson saw that growth and respected it deeply. There was also a missed opportunity in their careers. Before Pippen became a Bull, he was not highly known. He played at Central Arkansas in the NAIA. As a freshman, he averaged 4.3 points and 3.0 rebounds at 6'3". By his sophomore year, he grew to 6'5" and averaged 18.5 points and 9.2 rebounds. His coach, Don Dyer, believed he was ready for the NBA early. Dyer even called the San Antonio Spurs and Dallas Mavericks to talk about Pippen. At that time, Bob Bass was linked to the Spurs. No one showed strong interest. Years later, Bass would tell Dyer, "I know you tried to tell me. If San Antonio had acted, Pippen could have played alongside Robinson in 1987. Imagine that pairing. Robinson entered the league in 1989. Tim Duncan joined in 1997. If Pippen had been there, he would have been 32 when Duncan arrived. That trio could have changed NBA history. Robinson knew that possibility. Even without being teammates in the NBA, their respect remained. Robinson praised Pippen's leadership. Pippen valued Robinson's career and character. Both men were inducted into the Hall of Fame. Both were part of the 1992 Olympic team that was also honored. Years later, seeing them together again, even playing a simple video game, showed something clear. The bond from Team USA and the battles of the 90s never faded. Scottie Pippen respected David Robinson as a champion, a leader, and one of the best of his era. Which player on this list surprised you the most? Comment below, like and subscribe for more basketball stories like this.